All right, we're ready for station 3. I'm in the bear den. You'll see posters like this in every classroom for Cedar Scholars. So what we're going to work on is a really hard topic. This station is super challenging because most of us have a reaction to conflict. And this is all about how do we have conflict and recognize that it's super normal and important, because working through conflict is how we learn and grow. And then how do we restore? And then what I mean by restore, I'm talking about it, you'll see it up here, restoring the relationship and the community that you've been part of. So if you will follow along with me, this is what we're going to do in this station. Down here, most of us have one of these reactions to conflict. We either are people who avoid it or accommodate it. Sometimes we're super collaborative, but maybe we're picky about who we do that with. And then there's this relationship with competition. I love my competitive streak, but only when it's for the good of others, not when it's against someone. But I'm different. I like to win, but I like to win because everybody wins. But I'm your school counselor, so of course I feel that way. The goal in this conversation is to figure out how can we, when working together, get to this collaborating and or accommodating place when it's the right response for the right reason. So that's what we're doing. Here is the what. Because I want to know, I want you to read these together. You can see it on your posters in the room. And then I'm talking about how. How are we going to do this? So there's really predictable steps. I tried to write it like a recipe. Here's the purposes. It could be that you're doing a restorative conference where you're talking about how do we break community and what do we want to do about it. Could be you're talking about a restorative circle, so we're all learning about the impacts of an event or a situation. Or it could be that it's a personal conflict between 1 or 2 or 3 people and it's a mediation. And that's when there's a third party helping. Whichever of these 3 situations you're in, here's 3 steps that are they're research based. I made this poster, but I'm telling you, I actually did some research. I know what I'm talking about. I want you to go through these where you establish these really concrete rules. So you would say, can we each agree to, or can we all agree that one person's going to talk at a time without interrupting, and we're going to genuinely listen to understand and not rebuttal. We're going to tell the truth as we understand it, but we're also going to know that there's lots of sides to every story, and we're going to agree that the work is between the parties, not bystanders. So it's not everybody else's conversation, it's ours. And we're going to communicate with I statements, which you probably heard, but it's like, I feel sad, I feel frustrated, I want this instead of you this, you that, you this. So each person gets a chance to say this step. My challenge is, and I'm feeling, I wonder. One thing I need is, thank you for hearing me. And then you repeat it with the other person. So each side of the conversation or each view on the situation gets to be clear and center. Then 3, we ask for what kind of ideas are out there? What kind of resolution could happen? It doesn't mean that we'll find a solution, but we got to find a pathway forward. We make agreements about what that will look like, especially if the conflict resurfaces. And then we thank each other for entering into this work because we recognize that doing mediation, especially if you're someone over here on the conflict avoidance side or you've had negative experiences with conflict, this can be a very risky, vulnerable thing to do. And the work that we're doing here really matters. And so we really want a community that knows how to approach this stuff. In addition, I can't even tell you the number of people I know that have lost or left jobs because of their conflict with their coworkers. So when you know how to have a professional and personal relationship that's productive like this, and you trust that conflict is normal and that if restorative practices happen, you get to be not just a better employee, but a more happy, well-rounded human. And obviously that's what we all want each other to do. Hey, while I'm here, 2 things to notice about. There is an updated calendar, so you can see that some of the clubs have changed. And there is a volunteer opportunity if you're interested. It's on December 8th. The counselor at Bordeaux is somebody I know. He's a buddy of mine. I know you're all laughing. And he would be happy to have people help serve pizza, eat pizza, and help at the family art night. Back to this poster. Together, in your large group, let's talk through and check for understanding. And then in small groups, I'm talking groups of 4, let's talk about how could we implement this on our campus. Write down your notes and make sure they get back to me so I can talk about what we're going to do moving forward. I appreciate your support and your help, and I trust that this work is meaningful and we'll do it together. Thank you. Bye.